Good morning from the Royal Welsh Show here at Builth Wells. This has to be one of the most beautiful showgrounds anywhere in the country. We're in a natural bowl, and so all around us are wooded green hills. And here in the bottom of the bowl there is a slight mist this morning, and gloriously it is almost cold. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things here at the show, including Welsh agricultural policy. But let's start here at the shearing. Now, it's pretty early in the morning here at the show, and yet already a crowd has gathered to watch 6 people shear sheep. Now, in the years that I've been coming, this area of the show has just got more and more popular. Why? Well, I'm going to talk to Stephen Meredith. He's one of the commentators, actually, commentating on the competition at the moment, to find out what is the appeal of this. Steve, in all my years, I have never made it backstage of the shearing before. What is it that gets so many people coming to watch shearing early in the morning?
It's just the entertainment value. I think it's the commentators, to be honest. But it is. It doesn't matter. You could put shearing on at 6 o'clock in the morning. People will stop and watch it.
Am I right in thinking it's getting more popular?
It is getting more popular, and it's because it's becoming a bit of an entertainment, a bit of a buzz. And you'll see here this afternoon when we have them open finals in the Six Nations, and they're shearing 20 lambs in around 12 and a half minutes. It is an absolutely, the energy is electric, as I say, and the atmosphere is absolutely bonkers as well.
It is incredible to watch because it's so skilled and yet so fast.
They are professionals. At the end of the day, it is a sport, an entertainment, but it is about the welfare of the animals as well. And all these guys now, the shearing world, it's you just can't get up and put a handpiece on. They're all now talking about their diet, their nutrition, their fitness.
No.
Oh, absolutely. But their gear as well. Their gear is so, they got so much confidence. Because at the end of the day, you've got a comb and cutter, which is a cutter. It's like having a shave. And, if it's not sharp, it's not cutting. So they work tirelessly on their combs and cutters to get them in tip-top condition. A different comb for lambs, a different comb for different types of breeds.
How many of the people taking part will actually be doing this for a living?
You get professional shearers, but a lot of them are farmers. But, obviously through from sort of May through to July, they'd be shearing out, or contract shearing every day. And a lot of these boys, the top boys, would be going to shear, sort of doing a season in the UK. They would then go to Norway and then go over to New Zealand and do a season in New Zealand. So, they could be shearing 20,000 in the UK, 20,000 in Norway, and go and shear another 25,000 in New Zealand.
The British government is keen to kind of stop some of that because they don't want the Antipodean shearers coming in anymore. Or they can come, but they're going to have to pay for a 2-year working visa, which is expensive. Is that an opportunity for British-based shearers, or is it just not going to work?
Well, what worries me is if we do that for New Zealand shearers, and we probably have it's probably 75 come into the UK and shear probably 2 million sheep. So all of a sudden we've got to find UK shearers. That's fine. We'll probably manage that. The issue is, I think as well, is if New Zealand then could do the same to the UK shearers, and so they'll lose that experience going to New Zealand. It's back and forth, and it's a great family fraternities. Like, they're all friends and family, but when they get up on that board, they hate each other and they just want to compete.
Part of the joy of a show is the randomness of things that you see. I'm just making my way from one side of the showground to the other, and what you're listening to is the regimental band of the Royal Welsh. Actually, this show is a bit of a beast. It runs over 4 days. It's got everything from bands to livestock, horse competitions, exhibitions of horticulture, crafts, forestry, an awful lot of shopping opportunities. And it expects, over that 4 days, around 250,000 visitors. Who would want to get involved in organising that? Well, the answer to that is the woman standing with me right now. Llyr Gruffydd is an ambassador for the Royal Welsh. How did you get involved?
So the process of becoming an ambassador begins some 2 years before we actually step foot on the showground. So I was elected back in October 2024, and our campaign then as a feature county began in February 2025, and ever since then I've been involved with the rest of our feature county team arranging events, fundraising, all in the lead up to the 4 days that brings us here to the Royal Welsh Showground.
Now, they have this system here, as you say, of featured counties. This year it's Brecknock, which is where you're from. What's the idea behind featuring a different bit of Wales every year?
I think it just helps to ensure that each county across Wales gets the chance to showcase the best of their areas.
This is surely the heart of any show. I'm just outside the cattle shed. You can probably hear the sound of bulls being pressure washed gently right in front of me. This is where people bring their very best animals to show and be judged here at the Royal Welsh. Now in a minute we're going to be speaking to the new Cabinet Minister for Rural Resilience and Sustainability in the new Plaid Cymru Welsh Government. But first I just wanted to talk to some of the farmers here about the Sustainable Farming Scheme. This is the post-Brexit scheme here in Wales, which will pay farmers to farm in a more environmentally friendly way. To get the money, they have to take part in 12 actions, things like improving soil or doing online courses. But only about half of farmers have applied thus far. So what do they think of it?
My name's David Jones. I run a family farm with my wife and my son in a corner of Monmouthshire called Mega.
Have you applied to take part in the SFS?
Not yet.
Why not?
Basically, I haven't had time to go through it all and understand it. That is the simple reason why.
But surely you're doing yourself out of money, because if you don't join it, then you stay on a scheme which is slowly being wound down. So
we do intend joining it. That is the truth. But we didn't have a chance before the deadline this May to get our head around it and get it all sorted.
Does it feel quite complicated?
It does feel complicated, in as much as I say, just farmers, we're all busy, especially dairy farmers, and to sit down and go through it all. If you had a consultant tell you all about it, that's different, but if you've got to do it yourself like we do, well then it is a little complicated.
Just tell me who you are and what and where you farm.
I'm Henry Wilson, I'm from Cardigan in South Wales.
Have you joined or applied to join the SFS?
No, we haven't joined, no.
Why not?
Because I don't need the hassle anymore. Like, they want this, they want that. Next year it'll be something else, they want something else, and I tell you, they don't know what farming is at the end of the day.
But if you don't apply, you're going to miss out on the money.
If they give me a fair price for my produce, and that is producing milk, they can keep their money.
It's really difficult at the moment for dairy producers, so surely a scheme which will give you money for doing 12 actions on your farm, some of which you're probably doing anyway, that's got to be worth a look.
No, not really, because it's not much money at the end of the day. Like, if I have a load of fertiliser, like, it's only a fraction of the money that's going to pay for that.
I'm Llyr Gruffydd and I'm the Cabinet Minister for Rural Resilience and Sustainability in the Welsh Government.
I've just been into the cattle shed and spoke completely randomly to two farmers, neither of whom are that impressed by the SFS. Not that many people have applied for it. What are you going to do with it?
For a scheme without any track record, very first iteration, no long-term certainty of funding. Previously the scheme was going from 12 months to 12 months. I think, half of farmers actually going into the scheme is pretty positive. But that's not to say that there are reasons, maybe valid reasons as well, that others haven't. Now, we've tried to address some of those. The first thing we've announced, of course, is that multi-year funding certainty for the sector, which gives at least until 2030 an assurance of £1 billion investment through the scheme into the industry.
Although a lot of people are saying that's great, and we're really grateful for it, but there isn't enough money in that scheme for it to do what you want it to do.
Well, it's a baseline. Obviously, as the Cabinet Minister, I will always argue and advocate for more investment, but, the fiscal context is quite challenging. And, of course, every single sector across government would tell you the same. Everybody wants more. But, yes, we recognise that there are certain barriers, and we're working through some of those. And, we've made one or two announcements this week around removing some of the duplication potentially in the system. But there's always more to do. And, my message to farmers is we're on it.
You have quite a busy in-tray for a new minister. Let's just pick some of the things off. TB.
Yes.
I understand you were talking to your Northern Irish counterparts here at the show earlier in the week. Are you going to consider a cull?
We will absolutely look at all options that are available. As you may know, the TB Programme Board is obviously giving us advice. There's a technical advisory group now looking specifically at potential action in relation to wildlife. The Programme Board published their position paper a few months ago. Clearly they have said, and I agree, that we need to look at tackling the disease on the three fronts of livestock, yes, of the human population, of course, but also wildlife. So we do need to wait for their advice, because that will be based on the scientific evidence. They are the experts. We have a target of being TB free in Wales by 2041. We're being told that, on this current trajectory, we'll be well into the 2050s before we get to where we want to be. So I want to readjust that and put us back on course, and that means very firmly a refreshing of the TB strategy in Wales.
Are you going to refresh the strategy on the NVZ? That's a nitrate vulnerable zone. It means that there are extra rules to try and protect, for instance, watercourses.
Well, I was the member of the Senedd who actually proposed the motion to annul those regulations before they came into being. Not because I didn't believe there's a problem that needs to be addressed, there very much is, and we're all aware that action is required. It was just that I didn't feel that the farming by calendar approach particularly was the right way to go about it.
These rules dictate when you can spread muck, the idea being that you don't do it at times of year when it's more likely to go into the local river.
And, the weather doesn't play ball anymore, as we've been seeing recently. If you want to know whether the weather is appropriate for certain activities, then look out the window, don't look at the calendar. But also the workbook as well that goes with this. It's coming through clearly in the review of red tape that we've launched recently, and that's something as well that we need to look at in terms of reducing maybe some of the paperwork and bureaucracy around the whole regulation.
I've made my way to a new part of the Royal Welsh Show. As you can probably hear, it's right next door to the shearing, and it's called Cynefin, which is Welsh for place of belonging or habitat. And it won't surprise you to know that this is the sheep village. There are 9 million sheep in Wales, and so this is an area of the show dedicated to them. It's got everything from the different breed societies represented here. We've got fleeces, we've got cheese, we've got a family butchers. But what's really caught my eye is a display of wool, from rich earthy colours to brighter reds and deep blues. And this is a display from someone who is both a wool producer and a farmer. Good morning, what's your name?
Oh, hello, I'm Sasha. So we've got the Welsh Wool Shop just outside Newcastle Emlyn in Carmarthenshire, and we have our own sheep. And we also buy in fleeces from the farm gate from local farmers, and we process it at our farm, have it spun at Curlew Weavers, which is just 5 miles from the shop, and then I hand dye all these colours myself. So it's all local. This is the furthest any of this wool's ever travelled. We're only in Builth.
For many years, farmers have made a loss on the fleece. They have to shear the sheep for welfare.
Absolutely.
But actually the price they got for it didn't cover the cost of that shearing. It's a little bit better this year.
It is, yeah.
Are you able to offer them a bit more?
We do. We always offer at least double what the wool board are paying, because we feel, as farmers ourselves, we know there's a need for it, and we want to make sure we pay enough to cover each sheep that's been shorn.
So if we look at, we've got these hanks of wool here. This is a beautiful raspberry colour, and on the label it actually says the breed it came from.
Yes, so that's a Blue Domain sheep, and it's the Sysgod flock who are in Llandyfriog, which is just outside where our shop is. Ewan is the farmer.
It's the ultimate traceability, isn't it, to be able to knit something with this and know the name of the farmer.
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah, I know, it's incredible.
And that's it from us here at the Royal Welsh. I'm Charlotte Smith. The producer is Sally Challoner, and Farming Today is a BBC Audio Bristol production.